Hosting a podcast takes a lot of time and money. So I want to take a moment to say thank you so much with all my heart to the following homies who have donated to help keep this show free to air for everyone to enjoy. So a warm, big, cuddly, fuzzy thank you to Helen Newell Brown, Nicole Harvey, Jules H., Zoe Archer, and Tanya Parker. Thank you, ladies. I love you so much, and I really appreciate your support. If you have found value from this podcast, please consider donating at www.eugeniekruger.com and click the donate button at the top. Thanks. I am so excited to share with you that HomeoSummit is back. In today's fun-filled episode with Dr. Timothy Miller, the founder of Naturopathic CE and host of HomeoSummit, we chat about what you can expect during this homeopathic extravaganza. At HomeoSummit 2022, there were over 50,000 attendees from 172 countries. Get ready to be inspired and empowered by homeopathy this year with over 70 sessions delivered by 56 speakers from 16 countries. You will learn from the world's leading homeopathy experts like Farouk Master, Miranda Castro, Anna Varvark, Jeremy Scher, Dana Ullman, Heiner Fry, Richard Pitcairn, Wendy Jensen, Massimo Mangialavore, Ananda Moore, Paula Brown, Mary Aspinwall, yours truly, and so many more. You will be learning from the best. With 2 learning tracks, there's something for everyone. There's a track for beginners and one for homeopaths. So even if you're only first starting with homeopathy, or if you're an advanced practitioner, or anywhere in between, there are sessions just for you. From 20 May till 24 May, you can enjoy the entire 5-day summit free while it's running. Every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, the daily sessions will be released and will be available for free for 24 hours. And if you love the content or you miss out on some of the sessions, then there is the option to purchase the package and receive lifetime access. I'm going to give you a pro tip. The upgrade to lifetime access is cheapest if you purchase it when you initially register, and the price increases as we get closer to the event. The price also increases again when the event actually starts. So no pressure, but I just want to give you some insider info. Now, I have a big favor to ask all of our listeners, please. If you use my referral link when you register, it means that if you decide to purchase the full package, the Homeopathy Hangout podcast will receive a commission, which will directly go towards paying for the editing and hosting of the show and help me to continue to create more content for you to enjoy. So once you click on my link, it will place a cookie in your browser to link your registration to my affiliate code. So please do use my link, as it really helps to support my work. The link is in the show notes and it will be on my socials, but you can also directly type this in your browser, www.homeosummit.com/ref equals 49. So I'll just go through that again. It's www.homeosummit.com and then a / and then a question mark and then R for Romeo, E for Echo, F for Foxtrot, and then the equal sign and then a 4 and then a 9. So if you type that into your browser, it will, that is actually my referral link. So if you click on that, it will place that cookie into your browser. And then if you do purchase a summit package from that, I will receive a commission, which will directly go towards supporting the Homeopathy Hangout podcast. So just had to put that out there because honestly, these things really do help me. And at the end of the day, you are going to get 5 days of free content. No pressure to purchase the package at all, but that option is there if you want it. Either way, this is a super fun interview. Tim and I had a great time. I've actually edited out so many of the laughs because I think half the podcast would have just been us laughing. We had an absolutely great time. So I hope you enjoy the episode. If you do end up listening to my talk that I do on the HomeoSummit, do feedback. And thank you for supporting the show if you do. All the best. Bye.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now my mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, homies, and a very warm welcome back to Homeopathy Hangout. Today we get to hang out with Dr. Timothy Miller. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
It's lovely to have you on. We've had Anna on here a couple of years ago with another HomeoSummit, and now we've got another one coming up, which is very exciting, which we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into all that good stuff, can you tell our listeners a little bit about your background and how you discovered homeopathy?
Absolutely. Well, I have to be honest. Initially, I was a huge skeptic of homeopathy. I was in my high school days and I was a sophomore in high school. And, I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do on this whole life path thing. And I went up to one of my biology teachers and I said, hey, I'm kind of interested in medicine. I know that I want to help people. I'm not sure that I totally resonate with conventional medicine, but I don't really know what that might mean for me. Like what are my career paths? And she's like, oh, have you looked into homeopathy at all? And I was like, homeopathy? Like, what the heck is that? So I went home, and at that time it was probably askjeeves.com. I don't think Google was even really around. I went to askjeeves.com and I was like, homeopathy? And I read about it and I was like, what is this? This is crazy. This defies every bit of logic that I have ever been, informed about. And I was like, man, this woman is nuts. Like, what is she saying? But it was in the pursuit of researching homeopathy that I discovered naturopathy. And then when I read about naturopathy, I was like, oh my gosh, like herbs, aromatherapy, nutrition, lifestyle changes, counseling, like all of these things. And of course, homeopathy is or can be a part of naturopathic medicine. And I really resonated with what I read about naturopathy. So anyway, that was it. Sealed the deal. I knew what I was going to do, from there on out. And honestly, I might not have even studied homeopathy had it not been for its requirement within the naturopathic program. And fortunately at my school, at least at the time, homeopathy was a fairly big deal. Like we had, multiple years worth of it. And, so I got more exposed to it and kind of softened to the idea, warmed up to it. And anyway, now fast forward, we're now later in my training as a naturopath, and I'm now in the clinic and we're working with patients. And, you know, there was such a clear Orem case in front of me. I had someone who was struggling with depression. She was super polished, ameliorated by sunlight. When darkness came, like everything was worse. And I was like, this woman needs Orem. And so it was that prescription of Orem, Metallicum. And she came back a week later and she was like a brand new person. She like her depression was gone. She was feeling raised, like everything was better. And I was like, wow, homeopathy works. Like from taking it from the classroom and reading about it, or hearing it and not really having a tangible, real experience with it. And I was like, okay, those magic pellets, they really do something, don't they? So that really shifted my mind, with homeopathy.
That is super cool. I think that's officially the first story that I've heard of somebody first finding homeopathy and then naturopathy. There's several cases of, including myself, going and studying naturopathy and then finding homeopathy, but this is officially my first time hearing it other way around. That is so cool. Oh, that's beautiful. And then tell us a little bit about naturopathic CE, like naturopathic continuing education. How did that come along? Because I just want to say, you guys have the most incredible courses. I did one with Matt Zorn. It was on repetirization. It must be maybe about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It is an epic. It was about a 9-hour course. It was epic. And I mean, Matt Zorn knows the repertory. Like him and Luke and are like the gods of repertory. And I enjoyed that course so much that actually that's how I then reached out to have him on the podcast. And him and I have been in touch via Messenger, like, back and forth all the time ever since, because there's people that are going that way and I kind of put them in touch with each other, or he has suggestions for them. So it's actually the beautiful friendship that's developed through Naturopathic CE. So I just want to say thank you for that. But tell us a little bit about Naturopathic CE, what it is and what sort of things you have on there. And then we'll go into HomeoSummit after that.
Yeah, perfect. Well, kind of the origin of naturopathic CE is, as I was navigating my professional career, well, actually, even way before that, what I've always really been passionate about is education. I feel so inspired about learning, about teaching, about facilitating learning, even if I'm not the direct person involved, but I'm like linking student with Teacher. I've loved that. I consider myself a learner of life, learner for life. And of course, I also feel really passionate about natural medicine and having additional tools in our toolkit to really have the health and wellness that we desire. And so, and then also about me, I really like technology. Like I'm really just a big nerd. Like I've always been a little bit tech savvy. I've always done digital things. I've always been, except for books, I have to have a paper book. Like I love the physical book.
Yes. But I also want the electronic version as well, so I can go Control F and find the thing that I want that I can.
Thank God for Control F. It makes everything so easy, doesn't it? Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, I love that. And I love like the accessibility and ease. And you can have on your phone, you can have like thousands of books downloaded on it, let alone accessible on the internet or on your cloud. So I love the convenience of technology. And I've always kind of resonated with how, kind of fun and techie and nerdy it is. And so Naturopathic CE was really born out of these major interests of my life and bringing people together, creating community. And what's always also been really important for me is engaging people. Like I'm sure we've all had teachers in our lives who are clearly really knowledgeable, and love them for that. But the way that they present or deliver the information might be really difficult, but it kind of like download really easily. Like, oh, I'm trying so hard, but what are they saying? And then we have other teachers who they just say it once and it clicks. And so I've always appreciated education when it's in a meaningful, engaging, easy to understand kind of way. When I strive to do that when I myself am teaching. And also, even in my role in Naturopathic CE, like with user experience design, like, of course it could be better, but I really strive to make it easy to use, especially for someone who may not be the most tech savvy, kind of have a nice, user friendly platform. So, and crazy to think, I've been doing Naturopathic CE for almost a decade now, which is just mind blowing to me. Yeah.
Well, there's a huge library. You can tell that isn't content that arrived overnight. You can tell that is of hard work that's gone into that.
Thank you for saying.
And there's so many, just for the homeopaths or anybody listening, our audience tends to be about 50% homeopaths, 50% home users from a little poll that I did in my Facebook group. And yeah, and you don't just have education on homeopathy. It's actually aromatherapy, which I think is one of your big passions. Lots of aromatherapy, lots of natural medicine type things, lots of things for beginners and lots of things for very advanced people. So you have a really wide variety. There's really something for everybody. So if you're a home user listening and you think, oh, that's, it's probably too advanced, go and have a look on their website because there is stuff for complete beginners as well.
Thanks for saying that. Yeah, I've really... initially it really started being more geared towards naturopathic doctors, the courses that we offered. And then I was like, wait, why are we limiting this to just naturopath? Like we need to include other professionals. And then from there, I was like, we need to include lay people, like home users. Like we need to have everyone, like you say, something for everyone and including, a diversity of topics, homeopathy, aromatherapy, botanical medicine, nutrition, pharmacology, the less exciting ethics and jurisprudence, but, kind of like all of those topics that are an important part of natural medicine, of practice, of, home use, etc. So, yeah, we've continued to amass the library.
Amazing. And you were quite closely with a beautiful Anna Vivak, who you've got all sorts of like master practitioner things that you do with her, where she walks people through for like something like a year. You can be mentored by her. And I mean, I think that's incredible. She's been on the podcast. I just love that woman so much. There's just something about her. She's just incredible.
I completely agree. She's so easy to work with. She is so sweet. She is so passionate about homeopathy, and you can tell, where her heart is, and it is in helping people. It is in teaching people. It is in, collaborating. And a couple of years ago, I don't remember that. I think I brought up the idea. I don't remember exactly how. I was like, what do you think about doing a mentorship program? Like people need to learn what you have to teach. And, as wonderful as it is to have a course by you, like imagine the possibility if you're working hand in hand over the course of a year with close mentorship. Like imagine the possibilities of the cultivation of a homeopath, in that 10-month, 12-month period. And, in true Anna fashion, she was like, yeah, let's do it. There was no hesitation. She was completely on board immediately. And I think we've just started our 4th year of doing the program. And yeah, it's been a wonderful success for them.
Amazing. I am just dying to talk about a Homeo Summit, but I just wanted to get all those other things out of the way as well. Oh, I'm so excited for this. So, by the time this podcast is coming out, I think you said the sales are going to start the 22nd of April. So we should get this podcast out just in time so that our listeners will have enough time to register. But tell us a little bit about what is Homeo Summit.
Oh my God, I would love to. So HomeoSummit, it's the core event is a 5-day on-demand event. And so every day of those 5 days, we release pre-recorded sessions that are each available like upon release for 24 hours. And all of the content is homeopathy related. And we have 2 different tracks. So there's a track that is, called the Everyone track, which is for everyone, including home users, including moms and dads and caretakers and total beginners to homeopathy. And then we also have a track called the Homeopath track, which is, designed for enrolled homeopathic students, professionals, practicing homeopaths, up to, very advanced users. And so what we wanted to do was to create an event that was really a celebration of homeopathy, that celebrated learning and that encompassed kind of the diverse, nature that homeopathy includes in the community and different, ways of viewing homeopathy, practicing, incorporating homeopathy. And so we wanted to have this fun, engaging celebration, of homeopathy. And over those 5 days, this year we'll have I think it's 71 sessions from 56 speakers from 16 countries, so
Wow.
there's something for everyone, something to learn, and yeah, like Homeo Summit, we run it every other year. And at Homeo Summit 2022, we had just over 50,000 people. I think it was 52,000 or something like that. So
That's incredible. And then the alternating years, you do the aromatherapy supplements summit, right?
we supplement with the aromatherapy summit.
Yeah. Look, I'm only halfway through my coffee and it's still early here.
You get past them.
So you do the alternating years, right? So the aromatherapy summit and then the homeopathy and then.
Exactly. Because I'm also, as you mentioned, I'm very passionate about aromatherapy. I love like good smelling stuff. I love giving those oils, like, yuzu and mandarin. Oh man, they smell so good. I love them so much. And I love chemistry. So yeah, I'm very much so in the aromatherapy community and into the aromatherapy community. So I decided, that we would alternate between homeopathy and aromatherapy and offering these events. And something that I want to say, to add about your question, for Homeo Summit is, what I love about Homeo Summit is if funds are a consideration, you can register completely for free. And that feels so good and clean to me. Like I can put on this event and it's not limited to those who have the financial means. There is free period where you can learn 100% of the content that's involved with Homeo Summit. And, if you don't necessarily have the time, but you do have the funds, that's when you can purchase lifetime access, but you don't have to. So everyone, anywhere can, and well, English speaking, I guess you should say, but anywhere who understands English or can change both captioning can learn homeopathy, and I feel like that's so exciting. You're not restricted by funds. This information is freely available to you. And, one of the things that I also love about Homeo Summit is the content of the sessions themselves are not salesy, not promotional, self-promotional in nature. Like, of course, the speaker is going to tell you about what they do and share their offering with you, at the beginning or end of their session. Like that's only natural. But if the whole thing isn't just a sales pitch to get you to buy something, it's the content is standalone, valuable, meaningful information that you can do something with. And of course, if you want to learn more, if you want to support that speaker, you can sign up for their course. You can buy their book. You can do their program, whatever the case is. And I love that because some summits can be, and teach their own, but some summits can be a little bit kind of like one big sales pitch. And that's not what we wanted to do, with HomeoSummit. We wanted to be standalone, valuable educational information where, of course, we also highlight the speakers and their work and give them an opportunity to shine, with the things that they do.
I love that, because if it's all salesy, people pick up on that. And I just want to say thank you very much for inviting me to be a speaker. I felt incredibly honored. And I just want to say, I was so amazed by how professional, like from the speaker point of view, how professional your setup was. All the reminder emails that I got beforehand, just, and making sure that my PowerPoint was already touching base with me, seeing if I need any help, send it all through. And then Claudio came on beforehand and he did a full-on checkpoint, making sure I'd signed the documents and that my lighting was right, my audio was correct. He made me go through the slides to make sure they work fine, checked if I had any questions. Like, it was so professional. I was like, whoa. And just for our listeners, I'm going to be doing a talk on challenging the status quo in homeopathy. And I was a little bit nervous about when Tim said, what do you want to talk about, Eugenie? I'm like, let's talk about this. And then I just had like dark night of the soul going through. Oh my God, what if people like really hate me after this? But just from doing the podcast, I've had my mind stretched beyond belief. And so I wanted to pull all these little things together and maybe just put something forward for us to, as a community, maybe consider some things where we can improve as a profession, and maybe not. And maybe people think what I'm saying is complete BS, and that's totally fine too. But I had to laugh because it was my birthday just before we did the recording. And then somebody said to me, what's your date of birth? I gave it to them and they said, oh, you're a projector. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever that means. And so it's actually, I know, as you were talking, I was like, I bet you are, because we have this insatiable thirst for knowledge. And actually, once I learned a little bit more about human design, I was like, oh, that's why I obsessively learn. I cannot help myself. Like, at the moment, I'm doing a master practitioner course with Colin Griffith and with Sarah Valentini and with Ian Watson, and I'm doing one on ancestral trauma with Ton Janssen this weekend, and next weekend I'm doing an all-weekend bushflower SS course. So it's like obsessive. I can't help.
Oh, it's so good.
Talking, I was like, I bet you he's a projector. I was like, but then there was because I'm still learning about this. This is whole new world, and I actually don't even want to go there because it's like a whole other thing in itself. And whenever I hear astrology, all these sorts of things, I'm like, no, my brain cannot go there. It's like all consumed by homeopathy. But there was this one like channel or something that was activated for me that said that this, because you've got this activated, it means that you are somebody who challenges the status quo. And I just burst out laughing. I like did a face. I was like, guys, this is so funny. Like, I had decided on this title long before. But I just want to say thank you. I'm really excited to present this talk. It was absolutely nerve-wracking for me to kind of put those thoughts out there, but it's out now. So I'm interested to hear what the community says back and what they think. But tell us a little bit about some of the other speakers.
I would love to. So this year we're going to have 56 speakers, and some of them include Farouk Master, Anna Vervarge, Jeremy Scher, Camilla Scher, Dana Ullman, Karen Allen. We are going to have so many speakers over so many topics. Dur Elmore, Matt Zorn. Matt Zorn is going to be speaking again. Yeah, you, of course, which I'm very excited for. Yeah, we're going to have a delightful lineup of speakers again.
You've got some big names in there that it's going to be so exciting.
So fun. And it's so great to, connect with the community, on this level, like on both sides, connecting with speakers and getting to facilitate and build relationships with them. And then also hearing from the community, like, thank you guys so much for doing this. Oh my God, I learned so much. And sometimes it happens years later. Like sometimes we get emails, from even HomeoSummit 2020. It's like, I learned this. And like, because of that, I took my son to go see a homeopath and it like completely changed his life. Like, and therefore my life, like, thank you so much. And it's like, wow. So, you never know the effect that you have or influence that you have on someone. And sometimes that's like years later and you might not even hear about it, So I love getting that feedback and kind of facilitating these events.
I love that feedback. I don't know if people realize how much it means to get an email to say how much what you've done has impacted them, because often it's such hard work. And, with the podcast as well, it's so much hard work. And when somebody sends you that email and they say, look, you had this speaker on and I had a consultation with them and it did this and this, or I tried this remedy that you spoke of for my client and it did this and this. And it's like, it's the best feeling and it's the fuel to our fire. Like sometimes just need that little bit of fuel to keep us going.
100%. And so many things these days, especially I feel like in our work is virtual, so we're not having that constant interaction of someone in person or providing feedback. I'm sitting here behind a computer screen, doing my thing and, rarely getting to see that end user in person anyway. And so at times for me, I feel a little disconnected from that experience. When I go and teach in person, I love it because people come, oh, thank you so much. It's like, oh, you just immediately feel like, okay, I did what I needed to do. This was meaningful. It meant something to someone, And when you do it virtually, it's like, is this helping anyone? Do people care?
There's crickets out there. Anybody out there?
Hello?
And that's not why we do it, but still, it's just nice. And like I can go for months and then I get one nice email and that usually keeps me going for another few months. Like, just like a little bit, throw us a crumb. Just
a little morsel will do us.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Tim, have you decided to do have you got like an overarching theme for the summit, or is it just like a little bit of everything?
It's a little bit of everything. I've often felt conflicted because generally speaking, I love a good theme and I love running with a theme. So I'll be honest in saying that have been feeling really conflicted about it, but kind of when I get into it, I'm like, man, how do we do that? And I don't want to necessarily, limit speakers to the content. And when we have so many sessions, it's like, well, how do we even do that? So what I have been doing is no theme. I guess the theme would be this. The informal theme that is announced to no one is when working with a speaker to kind of come up with a topic, I always ask, what are you passionate about right now? What is it that you want to talk about right now? Because what I think is, generally speaking, the most interesting most of the time is when someone is speaking from their heart with the thing that fires them up and what they care about in that moment, and what that might be from moment to moment might be different, And so if someone is kind of hemming and hawing or not, what are you passionate about? That's what I want you to talk about. And even, kind of as you were mentioning, like you're feeling a little, hesitation and like, oh man, let's go for it, and other speakers have kind of expressed similar concerns. Like, do you think people will like it? Like, we are going to run with it and we are going to, steal the show with that talk. So you can talk about the thing that you really care about. So that is something I would say that unifies, the talks that we do have is bring your passion alive.
I love that. And that's what I love with the podcast as well. Like people always ask me, what do you want me to talk about? And I'm like, whatever you're passionate about, because when people come from that place of passion, it's just everything kind of flows from there, right?
Completely agree. I love that.
Yeah. It's been so fun to talk with you. I'm so glad we can finally get to connect. Can you please tell our listeners all the final details, like where they can go to sign up, and also so tell us all the ways they can connect with you for HomeoSummit and also for Naturopathic CE. So just give us all those links and places we can find you.
Okay, perfect. So the website for HomeoSummit is homeosummit.com. And which is HomeoSummit.com. And for Naturopathic CE, it's naturopathic. I know that's a mouthful. I love telling people on the phone, like, naturopathic, what? NaturopathiccE.com. And we have those same handles for social media accounts for Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. So you can just do the @ symbol and have at it. And yeah, the details for the event. So the event starts on May 20th and it's a 5-day event. So it goes until May 24th. And this year, what's is new is we're going to have a full day of post-summit workshops. And so we're going to have 3 sessions on some great topics like autoimmune disease, polarity analysis with Heiner Fry. We're going to have a talk on integrated cancer management with Mitch Fleischer. So it's going to be an amazing day. Each of those sessions are 3 hours each. So it's going to be a full 9-day intensive of, advanced homeopathic learning. And then what's new is we've also partnered with Radar Opus. And on the Sunday after HomeoSummit, we're doing a full day of Radar Opus training. I think we have 7 different sessions from total beginners to power user sessions and everything in between. So really trying to support,
Are you for real? I'm like sitting here with my mouth hanging open. That is after the Homeo Summit.
exactly. Mhm.
And if you buy the package, is that like, do you get that with a package or is that a separate package that you buy? Like if you want to buy the whole program.
Yeah. So, okay. A couple of things. One, just backtracking for a second, the Saturday and the Sunday, I don't think I said explicitly, but those are live sessions. Those are happening real time on Zoom. And so there'll be Q&A periods and everything. Whereas the previous 5 days, those are all pre-recorded and available on demand, for 24 hours each. Also, so the Radar Opus training day, that is free regardless. Anyone can register for that. Anyone can attend those sessions live and learn about Radar Opus, ask the Q&A, all that stuff. Another new thing that we're doing this year, which I'm really excited about, is we're offering an all access pass. And the all access pass includes everything in HomeoSummit. So you get lifetime access to the Everyone track with PDFs. You get lifetime access to the Homeopathy track with PDFs. And you get access to all of the post-summit workshops, all three of them live on Zoom. And automatically, you'll get lifetime access with PDFs on your account. So if you can't attend, any or many or anything, you'll have that available.
Okay, sign me up for that one. I want that one.
Let's go! Yes! I'm so jazzed about it. I've always, like, one of the things that my team and I are so passionate about is like, how can we make it, even just 5% better? Perfection is not the goal. How can we improve just slightly? What is the new offering that we can do? How can we change the way that we're doing something so that we can, make it more meaningful, more interesting, fill a need, better or differently? And those were some of our ideas for this year. So I'm very curious to see how they go. And I hope they're well received.
That is so cool. Now, I also just want to say that I am really excited to be an affiliate. So if anybody uses my affiliate code to sign up, which I haven't done the paperwork yet, so I don't know what it is. So I'll go do it now and then put it in the intro of this podcast episode, which does mean that I get it. So if somebody signs up using my code, I do get a referral commission as well, which I am really grateful for because doing the podcast costs so much money. So I'm always trying to look for ways, and people don't realize this, but it comes out of my own pocket unless I get donations. So it's terrible. People somehow think I make money from the podcast. They like, that doesn't Spotify pay you? I'm like, they don't pay me. They couldn't care less. Doesn't this or that pay you? No, it's all like donations, or if I get an affiliate kickback here or there or something like that. And so I'm really grateful for that because so that I always feel that I'm somebody that if I'm passionate about something, I want to share it anyway. If you've been to a hairdresser or whatever, you got to tell your friends anyway that person is great. And it's all about energy, right? So if you think it's great anyway and you decide to sign up, then just use my code and then I get a kickback too. Everybody wins. Yay. And I get
Let's support Eugenie.
Yeah. And then that also means that the podcast continues to keep going and it doesn't become too much of a financial burden where I end up having to stop it, which is something I'm considering at the start of the year. And then somebody has helped me out. So, we've got to say, like, I've always feel we've got to say these things sometimes. Sometimes people just assume stuff about how they think, oh, that person must be, making bucket loads, when actually it's not. And so I'm just going to say here, if you're going to sign up, please use my referral code and please do come and join us at HomeoSummit. And whether you like my speech or not, please do say. If you don't like it, just be gentle, please. Oh, Tim, it was so fun to chat with you. Is there any final message that you want to leave us with?
I say keep the learning alive, keep the learning alive. I think that's the thing that gets to unite us. And I love what you bring, to the homeopathy community. And I'm so grateful for that. And, I think we all need to be a little bit more like Eugenie. I love that.
No, don't.
Yeah. Well, and I say that to say there can be such divisiveness in the homeopathy community, I think, at times. And so I think it's so wonderful to focus on the things that unite us, and focus on the things that bring us together. And, the energy that you bring and your passion, I think that's such a beautiful thing. And I don't mean to put you on the spot or put any pressure on, but I genuinely mean that. What I experience in you, I think, is something that's really wonderful.
Well, you can only see something in somebody that you have in yourself. And I just completely see that reflected back.
You're a stinger.
Timothy, it's been so lovely to chat with you. Thank you so much. I am so excited for HomeoSummit, and I'm going to get this episode out straight away so we can let our listeners know about it. And so 22nd of April is the day that they can start registering, and then 22nd of May is when it's starting, right?
20th of May. Exactly.
20th of May. Excellent. Awesome. And 20th of May, your time. So it'll probably be like the next day, my time.
Exactly. Funny how that glove thing works.
Yeah, it's annoying. Speaking of which, it's way past bedtime your time, so I better let you go. Lovely to connect and all the best.
Thank you so much.